Abductor Virgins are large metal constructs in the shape of a woman. We can compare them with mobile Iron Maidens, a hollow spiked interior hidden inside an ornate shell. One common variant resembles a saintly figure cradling a small child, while its shoulders carry either chained sides or huge wheel blades that is used in order to tear its victims apart. They are automations affiliated with Volcano Manor, designed to capture and transport victims for interrogation. When the Abductor Virgins close in on a target, they open their chest cavity and drag the victim inside with serpentine tendrils. Most virgins have lost the power of transportation, so this grab now simply crushes and constricts the target before spitting them back out, if they are still alive. Close-up model analysis shows that the interior of a virgin is actually packed with giant snakes. 6 snakes are bundled together into the 2 grabbing arms, while others coil around the inner machinery like a living engine. In other words, an Abductor Virgin is a snake-powered Iron Maiden on wheels. To understand why Abductor Virgins exist at all, we have to look at Volcano Manor. During the Shattering, the manor was home for Praetor Rykard and his Recusants, warriors who openly rebelled against the Earth Tree and the Golden Order. The manor is famous for torture chambers and secret punishments, especially of nobles behind the curtain, in the hidden parts of the estate. The weapon descriptions connect the Abductor Virgins directly to the culture of torture. First is Giza's wheel. Its description calls it a great iron wheel lined with flesh-flaying blades, a device of torture used by Inquisitor Giza. Crucially, it adds that this design was later adopted to the iconic weapon of the Iron Virgins. So the wheel-armed Virgin is literally built around an existing torture instrument. Second is Inquisitor's girandole, a spear candlestick dropped by the Abductor Virgin duo in the Subterranean Inquisition Chamber beneath Volcano Manor. Its description calls it an instrument of torture used on nobles behind the curtain of the manor. Its spike spears flesh and flames, sears the wounds with the smell of burnt blood, including despair. Put together, these items suggest a progression. Inquisitors perfected handle devices like Giza's wheel and the girandole, then scaled the technology up to full-sized automations. Abductor Virgins were once endowed with the smell of transportation that let them send victims elsewhere. Many have lost their power over time, but at least one virgin still retains it, the one beneath the Great Water Wheel in the Academy of Raya Lucaria. The surviving virgin still has its own transportational powers. You can ride the water wheel down to the bottom of the Academy and let that specific Abductor Virgin kill you with its grab. And instead of respawning at a grace, you wake up deep under Volcano Manor in the Subterranean Inquisition Chamber. There you face a twin virgin boss fight, and upon defeating them, you receive Inquisitor's girandole and a hefty rune reward. Lore-wise, this shows how the system was meant to work before most virgins decayed. They grab a target, kill them inside the Iron Maiden, and magically transport their remains straight into the Gelmir's underground torture complex. Only that one machine still functions as originally intended. The rest have devolved into brutal executioners patrolling their own roads. Abductor Virgins can be found in several locations: Caria Manor, Raya Lucaria Academy, Sailid, Volcano Manor, the capital outskirts, etc. So who are they actually hunting? First, nobles were tortured with these devices behind the scenes at Volcano Manor. That strongly suggests that high-status prisoners like nobles, political enemies, and agents of the Golden Order were prime targets for this abduction. Second, Volcano Manor itself is a faction dedicated to rebelling against the Earth Tree. Rykard and his Recusants waged war on the Golden Order, and after Rykard's transformation into the Lord of Blasphemy, Tanith maintained the manor as a base of a new generation of Recusants. These new followers recruit Tarnished to hurt other Tarnished. In that context, Abductor Virgins' function is like a mobile prison to seize warriors, heretics, and sacrifices. Finally, in gameplay, they relentlessly attack the player. Their role is a brutal gatekeepers that are guarding some roads and protecting the torture chambers and prison town beneath Volcano Manor. All of that reinforces the idea that their job is to secure Volcano Manor's interests and feed victims into its machinery. In terms of allegiance, the Abductor Virgins clearly belong to the Volcano Manor ecosystem. They are explicitly described as automations affiliated with the Volcano Manor. Their signature weapon comes from Inquisitor Giza and from Manor's own torture chambers. Their serpent motifs and snake-powered interiors mirror Rykard's own transformation into a great serpent beneath the manor. They are also linked to Recusants, the warriors and assassins who rally under Tanith in continued defiance of the Fingers. Volcano Manor invites ruthless Tarnished, gives them contracts to hunt others, and ultimately offers the strongest as food for Rykard. The Abductor Virgins can be seen as the Recusants' mechanical allies. They don't hand out contracts, but they capture the bodies and quad the holes where those victims end up. Outside of this network, they have no real friends. You never see them cooperating with Raya Lucaria sorcerers or Golden Order knights directly. Even when they appear in Liurnia or Lindell, they feel like occupying forces. Volcano Manor's machines stationed far from home. The Abductor Virgins is Elden Ring's purest horror design. They are the gigantic Iron Maidens rolling on wheels, with a porcelain-faced woman cradling a baby and dangling blades. Their surfaces decorated with coiling golden snakes, and their interiors lined with meat and living serpents. Symbolically, they combine a few strong themes. First is perverted sanctity. The word virgin and the mother and child pose echo holy statues, but here that image hides torture spikes and snakes. The second one is serpentine blasphemy. Serpents are both ornament and a power of source, linking them to the Rykard serpent cult and to the idea of power gained through devouring others. And the last but not the least one is industrialized cruelty. They are not just a sadistic torturer, they are an assembly line of suffering, repeating the same procedure on anyone unlucky enough to be grabbed. Even their mechanics reinforces this. They are like golems, immune to all status effects, which makes them feel less like living creatures and more like unstoppable system of pain. So, to wrap it up, Abductor Virgins are serpent-powered torture automations born from Volcano Manor's Inquisitors. They were originally designed to abduct and magically transpose victims straight into Gelmir's underground torture chambers, a role that the surviving virgin beneath Raya Lucaria still performs. They primarily confront nobles, enemies of Volcano Manor, and powerful Tarnished, anyone the Recusants and Inquisitors deem useful as a sacrifice or worth breaking. They serve Rykard, Lenny Tanith, the Inquisitors, and Recusants as grim extension of their rebellion against the Air Tree. Their design, a false holy virgin filled with snakes and blades, perfectly captures Elden Ring's vision of corrupted faith and weaponized blasphemy. Thanks for watching, hit that like button, subscribe for more Elden Ring lore, and stay sharp out there, Tarnished.